Another important. Will you wash it? Will you wash it? Or is it burner? Oh my! You're not framing a musty jacket, Afam. We're not doing this.
You have to, but that's what you have to do.
We're not framing it. So you just have a random musty jacket hanging in your living room. That's ridiculous.
A musty jacket. That's the title of this podcast.
We're not doing that. No, at least throw it in the wash or dry clean it. Do something. Wet wipes. Wipe it down. It's sweaty.
Burna Boy's sweat. This is crazy. But Burna Boy's sweat is what adds value to the jacket.
Oh my God, I can't believe what I'm hearing. I genuinely can't believe what I'm hearing.
It's true though, that's what adds value.
Yo, Licky, Sefa boy, TFB, go, skia, cheki, skia, Licky, let's go. Licky nikani na rap disease, siwezi lose, God forbid. Skia my G vile beat na kick, mpoa nikasea choki na stick. Niko juu kwa nyolo manze imepick, mistake vizi siogopi ku risk. Hii ndo mwaka nashika kiblik, niko na maziwa, niko na kimil. Naingia bankiko ni stay to the teller na cash kicheck, nasikia nime nice. Ujake nafanya natumia hell, I'll get you whatever no matter the price. Manigga wanasema manze nime lost, nimesunda ki white design ya rice. Mokoro na ziwa sijamvutia na jani sikia kafu.
Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome to the 30% podcast. We are in episode 120. And I am Sam R. I am a producer and other things. I'm joined by Afam, who is also a producer and other things. He will brief us on what those things are shortly. Yeah. Okay, well, I thought I had longer to go. Maybe you could brief us now.
I'm a son. I'm a son to somebody. I am a brother to some. No, you said I'm other things. What else am I? I am I don't know.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Hi guys. That was so sad. Yeah, man. Afam is I don't want to I'll let you light up your own spot, but then how has your life been?
Yo, my life has been lifing, you know what I mean? Just been living life to the fullest. You know, I'm sure the people listening to this podcast know what I'm talking about. And okay, let me stop waffling. I've been fine, Sam.
And I don't know whether they know. I don't know whether they know what you're talking. I don't know. I think sometimes when we're on the podcast, we assume that other people are getting all the context for whatever we're talking about, and it's very rare that that's happening.
Yeah.
So
that's facts. That's facts.
So give context.
Okay, so I've been really busy this past week because I've been planning. I've actually right now this audio is being transmitted. It's been recorded in the land of Kenya. Yes, I'm back home. I'm back home for a bit.
Yeah.
Reasons.
Missed Kenyan air.
I did. I really missed Kenyan air, man, bro. Actually, when I stepped out of the air.
Did you take a long breath in?
No, for real. I did.
That's so corny.
Let me tell you why. Because the air quality in New York, Sam, is not great. Honestly, and no offense to anybody, if you're listening to this podcast from New York, I'm not trying to be offensive, but that city smells really bad.
Wait. What do you mean by that? Because I'm curious. Smells bad. What does it smell like?
It smells like three things, Sam. It smells like pee. It smells like...
Wait, you said tea?
Okay, yes, it smells like a number one, it smells like a number two, and it smells like weed. I'm sorry. It's
a number one,
truth.
A number two, and weed.
Yes. That is the smell of New York.
We're talking about the herb. We're talking about like ganja.
Yes.
Like the devil's lettuce.
Ganja.
Okay,
no, let's not start saying the devil. Sam, who are we? Why are we sounding like... That
devil's
makes us
lettuce.
sound like... Yeah, please, Sam. Could you...
That's a funny name for it. Oh, that's crazy though. I don't know what I thought.
No, let me be honest. No, New York
smell like,
is
but
New York smells really bad, and it's also very dirty. Anyway, just know when I came back, I
wow,
was like,
glowing reviews,
home.
5-star.
No, but New York in general is a really nice city. I'm just being honest, like about like my perspective. But like in general, it's a really good thing. Like in terms of just like the sites, the buildings, and then the things that you can do. Like there's nowhere else like New York.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
up
a
there.
fact.
But just doesn't smell great.
It's up there. Yeah, so just like like I said, like my week has genuinely just been me leading up to the trip here, and I finally hopped on the direct flight from New York straight to Kenya, which was really nice. Like
wow.
it's like
How
it's
long
like
is that?
it's like a 13-hour flight, but the pilot was really fast because we got there in like 12 hours. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Anyway,
Wait, he was speeding. Can you speed in the
yeah,
air?
I guess he was speeding because we arrived like an hour in advance. But the reason I'm saying it's a nice flight is like if anyone has traveled like from here to the US, like mostly you'll do like one stop layover. Sometimes you can even do two, and it makes your trip time so long. Usually it takes like around 20 to 22 hours like to travel between here and America. But like with this, it's like a whole 8 hours out of your trip, so it's so much
Wow,
more
that's-
convenient. And then also the plane didn't fill up completely, so like there was so much space
So you had space to move around. Are you the kind of guy who if you're put in a middle seat, like when there's no, you jump to the window seat?
Yeah, like no, it was almost like free seating, almost like people were just like doing what they want. So it was really fun in that regard. But yeah, aside from that, I'm happy to be home. Like I know everyone has been complaining about the heat, but I'm happy to be amongst the heat, bro. New York this winter has been so cold, man. So I'm happy. I'm not complaining.
That's
That's how my week has been.
That's good, man. The streets the streets missed you. Lol. The streets
The
missed
streets
you.
no. The streets need me. The streets need me here,
no,
man.
the streets need you. All right. All right, they do, I guess.
How
that's
about
cool,
you,
man.
bro?
That's
What
cool.
did you get up
No,
to?
even before that, like just like it's just a blessing, I guess, to be on a flight that lands. With all this year, flights have been
No, for real.
they've been all over the place, especially from that side of the world. So, man,
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like for the first time, I don't think I've ever experienced this. I know back in the day, people used to clap when the pilot landed.
I remember that.
But-
I remember that.
Yeah. Well, I've never experienced it, but today yesterday I
Yeah.
experienced it. Like, bro, like the people clapped after he landed, and I was like,
I'm just
this
happy
has
to be on the
because
floor,
of
man.
Yeah, I think it's because of what's been happening. Everyone is so relieved when you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
flights have been falling
yeah.
out of the sky, but no, thank God for special. What is Johnny Mercies? I forgot the phrase.
Yeah,
I forgot the phrase.
yeah. I was like, where's this going?
no, it's cool. That's dope, man. Happy to have you back. Hope your audio sounds a little bit crisper, a little bit more, more local. I think it does. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. What have I been up to? Last week was a little busy, I guess, but hasn't been the greatest week, if I'm being honest. But here we are. Yeah. What happened? I've been about. First, I think I'll start forward, then go backwards. So the most recent thing I was out for was Ras Amor. Ras Amor's listening party. He currently is part of. But he's a singer-songwriter, first of all, and then he's part of the Babas, which is a new, as they said, what did they say? They're the most upcoming, the most. They hyped themselves up though. And now I can't remember it, so it sounds like I'm hating. But they're a group that's coming up, and he's part of them. He released a project on the 14th of February. Oh, isn't 14th of February the date of Valentine's Day?
Sam.
I don't know
fact
why
that you
it
have
doesn't.
to
It
even
doesn't.
double check with
It
me
doesn't.
that's very telling about your love life. I'm so sorry,
Hey,
bro.
hey! What are you doing? What are you doing on here?
But
Like, this
but
is a
it's
podcast.
Obviously
Why are you doing
Valentine's
that?
Day.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't recognize 14th of February as Valentine's Day. Anyway, so he released on Valentine's Day. The EP is called Amor. It's not interestingly, it's not called Amor because of love in Spanish. It's called Amor because of joy in Luo. Apparently, that's the word for joy.
But why
or
do
happiness or
that
something
then?
like
But if it's me, I'm gonna say it's a double entendre. I'm gonna say, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, hey, you use what
Anyway,
you can.
okay.
Use what you can to get to where you need to be. So yeah, it was a good EP. It was a good EP. When I heard it, it was
yeah.
very cool. Features Goofy, Spellcast Media Choir, Brandy Maina is on there, and a song called Nothing on You, and then his brothers Baraza and Madainjama of the Babas were there. So yeah, so it was good. It was just a good outing. It was late in the night. Shout out to Ongeza Volume. She was the one who's Abigail Diana. Her name is not Ongeza Volume. Ongeza Volume is her podcast and her thing. So she was the one who was hosting. So she invited me out there, which is I'm trying to realize that most of the time when I'm outside, it's because of her, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But here we are. Shout out to you, if you're listening. So that was good. That was good. I think he has a listening party for a project he's working on. They're supposed to send me the details. I haven't gotten the details. So the promo I'm going is off my head. And I told them yesterday that my memory is not good. So this is what you get, guys. But no, he has something coming up. I think it's on the 13th of, is it this month or next month? And yeah, so his I guess tickets will be going up soon. So just listen, just go check out whatever it is. Go check it out. Look out for it. And yeah, so that was that. It was interesting. Hung around, saw a couple of people. Had a few industry talks.
Yeah.
That was cool. Towards the end of last weekend was all right. I was trying to rest. But then towards the end of last week, I think Friday, I was outside. It was almost like an impromptu thing, honestly. But then I just decided to go for it because I was curious. June Gashui, if we know her, do you know June Gashui? Are you familiar with June Gashui? Does that name ring a bell to you?
I feel like I should be.
Yeah, you should. You should. It's credibility. She's an artist. She's been in radio. I think she's been in. But she's been in TV also, if I'm not wrong. She has a IP consulting firm called JGIP Consultants, where they just do like education on intellectual property, and they also, training projects, consultancy. They do like just monetization, managing portfolios, entertainment stuff. So yeah, she has an IP firm, and they were doing like a little workshop thing. They've been doing it consistently. I think they have like one every month.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it. So I decided to go check them out. It was at the Sarakasi Dome
Okay.
in somewhere in Nairobi. I forgot the place. But yeah, so that was cool. It was interesting. It was just a brief overview, I guess, on IP and intellectual property of all kinds, right? So when people say IP, a lot of times we think about music, but then there's a bunch of different things that are tied into it. So patents are in there, and something else. But then, so they were just like briefly going over it, and a few important things that you could know. I think they're going to keep having different ones, and then they're going to specialize. So maybe like the next one they'll do is focused on music, and then the next one is probably focused on film. So yeah, that was good. It was pretty informative.
Yeah.
And yeah, a
So
few
was it
people
just
in
like
there.
a crash course on what
Yes.
IP is?
Yes, what IP is, IP in general, and then just briefly focusing on some of the things within IP now. But yeah, so that was good. That was what I was out for. It was, like I said, I think I learned quite a bit. When you're in the music industry a lot, you tend to think that you think because we hear the same things over and over again, that's almost reinforced as new information. And so you think you know a lot until someone who is actually specialized in like whatever field it is start talking there like, you pull out the notes and start scribbling. So yeah, that was good. That was really good. Very informative.
So tell us then, what is IP at this point?
Do I remember? Intellectual property. Intellectual property is simply, to put it simply, so you know how like people, you have property, like general property. So you might have bought a car, you have land, you have a house, shoes, whatever it is, right? So that's your property. And if someone takes it, they've stolen your thing, right? So that's something you own. Now, intellectual property is something you own in your mind, if that makes sense. It's birthed out of your mind. Well, it's not in your mind though. Actually, that's one of the things I learned. It's because you have an idea. Ideas are not intellectual property. It's when you produce that idea and it comes out in a certain way. That's what is the intellectual property, which I that was clarified for me. But so anyway, intellectual property is like music, it's art, it's dance, it's whatever you have in your mind that you have created and now it exists in the world. So does that make sense? I feel like
that makes sense. That makes sense. I remember being taught about copyright.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same thing. It's like you can have a melody in your mind or whatever, but the moment you make it tangible, i.e., you make it like a song or you record a that's
painting,
when
whatever it is,
you're able to like copyright it. But just having the idea by itself doesn't make it like you can't copyright an idea until you make it tangible. So yes, you make sense.
Yeah, so that was that. It's cool. I mean, it lasts for a while. It was really interesting to learn that it lasts for, they said, well, it depends on what it is, but like if we're doing music, right? Music lasts for copyright. So sorry, let me backtrack. Copyright is under IP. So copyright is protecting intellectual. That's like now the laws that protect intellectual property.
Yeah.
Stating that someone just can't come and take your stuff and do whatever they want with it to make money, replicate it without your permission. So like stuff like music, it's copyrighted for your lifetime plus 50 years. Just things like that I was learning. I did not know.
Is that in Kenya?
It's, well, from what I got, and I wish I had questioned more about this, but then from what I got, it's like, it varies, I guess. But then
I think, you
might be right. I think what you're getting at is right. I think in Kenya, they do. Wait,
because I know in America they do in America they do your copyright lasts for your lifetime plus 70 years. But I think it varies from country to country.
From country to country. So that was interesting. I mean, that's really what IP is basically. That there's various forms of IP. People, and it's not always as, because we think, okay, it's music and it's TV and it's film. It's like, like in Kenya, we have the acrobats on the street and they're doing their routine, their dance routine and stuff. Like that's also intellectual property. So it's very cool. It's a very interesting
this podcast is our intellectual property.
It actually is. So you cannot copy it. Apparently you can't play music on here, but hey.
No, we can actually. And we will get into that. We will get into that because it's under the fair use category of like copyright. And that's a whole different like subsection of this whole situation. Did you learn anything new? Like anything that like wowed you and you were like, yo, this is something I didn't even know?
No, I think that was it for me. It was it's not new, but then I think it's just putting it in different words, the realization that having an idea. Because I feel like I've been walking around thinking that my ideas in my brain are copyrighted. And
they're not.
Yeah,
they're not. That's why
I can't defend my brain ideas. I have to do something,
bro. And that's why, as a producer, it sucks when you have a beat and then somebody makes something that sounds so similar, but like you never like really released it or anything, and they never had it, so you can't say it.
Oh my goodness, that happened to me.
So much.
It happened to me, and it happened to All of the Lights by Kanye West. I'm not lying to you when I say I dreamt about that song a few months before that song was released, and it sounded exactly the way it came out.
You have to sue Kanye, bro. Like,
It was like when it came out, I was like, it was a feeling where it's very surreal. I know it sounds unbelievable, but I'm actually being honest, because it's one of the and it's one of the things that solidified him for me in a weird way as like one of the creatives I really resonate with. Well, his previous work, not the new stuff, but it was very trippy.
That distinction is very, very important.
We like the old Kanye, not the new Kanye. It was just really trippy where I like actually like dreamt of that song. Yeah. And then when it came out, I was like, the melodies and the horns and everything, like it came out exactly. I was like, that's weird. I don't know why that works. That's weird intuition. And I wasn't on anything. I was on just crisp Kenyan air like Afam is on now. But yeah, that's it. What is there anything I'm missing about IP?
There's way more to like add, which I think we can like for the people listening. So I guess in the context of music, which is what we deal in, is I think the two types of intellectual property, or the two like the two levels within it that really affect our industry would be copyright and I guess also trademark. So trademark is really simple in terms of like, nobody is gonna start releasing music under the name Beyonce because that's her trademark. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna do that. Like, even if your name is genuinely Beyonce, like, you're not gonna get away with releasing music.
But see, that's kind of confusing because there's a lot of artists with similar names. So how does that work when they use the government?
I know. I don't think it works because, like, no, like even if you're called Usher, who else is releasing music under the name Usher? Usually, most people will now you'll have to start either like changing characters of letters so that it fits in, or like
that's when they start replacing the A's with V's and throwing X's in place of E's. That era is done, by the way. That was an era. I think it's done.
Is it done? Is it really?
I think I feel like it's done.
I don't know if it is. I feel like people are still doing like the era I liked the most was when all these like emo rappers were like putting exclamation points in their name. I manage an artist who does the same thing, so I really like that era. And yeah, usually it's to avoid things like this with trademark, because like obviously there is a limited amount of names in the world, so you have to get creative. And obviously some people have thought of some of these things before you. You know what I mean? So I wonder though, like, but these are like, now if you know how Beyonce's E has the the E with the thing on top. I wonder if somebody could do it, like if there's a Beyonce out there and they do it without the accent, will that still be so? Hey, I don't know.
I figured they'll still, if I mean, of course, only if that artist becomes like notable. That's when they'll be like, they'll sue. But you're talking about copyright and there's actually three. It's copyright, patent, and trademark. Those are the three.
But there is three. But I was saying the ones that we really like encounter within the music industry will be those two. Will be trademark and copyright. And so the last one, or the one I want to talk about, we'll end up talking about in depth, will be copyright, because that's everything. Because now under copyright will now come licensing, and licensing is then where we come into royalties, and royalties is where it's the bread and butter of the music industry, I guess. So I found this definition of copyright, Sam, which I think is such a good definition. So copyright is essentially a limited duration monopoly. Just think about that.
Limited duration. Okay.
So you know how you said like a copyright lasts for your lifetime plus 50 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and that's exactly what it is. Like, you have this idea and it's gonna be yours and yours only, but for a limited duration. And that's why right now I believe songs that were produced before the year like maybe like 1923 or something like that, It's up
Yeah.
for grab. Like you can use that and incorporate that in your music
That's
without
that's really what I was
encountering-
thinking about. And then I started thinking
Mm.
forward. Like if I want to sample the songs that are out today, I'm going to have to wait a long time. I'm going to have to be like 150. Can't wait that long. Oh man.
Yes.
But yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So it's a funny thing, but yeah, exactly. Copyright is essentially just a limited duration monopoly, and yeah, it's like Sam said, it's only you generate a copyright when you create a tangible copy of that work. Because we're talking about music, I'm just gonna keep it to music. So you have to get your ideas out. Also, you don't have to register like your work somewhere for you to generate a copyright. Like creating a tangible copy does generate a copyright in and of itself. And I find that very
as long as you have proof. Yeah, as long as you have proof
have to
that
have
you're the
proof.
one who created it. You have to have proof.
Exactly.
If there are disputes, you don't. It's not. Of course, it will help if you're registered to like a copyright board or something like that, right? But then if you're not, you haven't done that. You still, as long as you can detail the creative process is an extra, but then detail the creation and just how you came up with it. And like the original files and things, like if you're doing music, like the original files and stuff like that, that's pretty useful in terms of the law.
So exactly.
interesting.
And I mean, like if you like make beats on FL Studio, you'll have the sessions where you created the stuff, and that comes in handy in terms of I did indeed create like this beat, for example. So the question comes then, what do you think copyright what does it allow you to do? And there's 5 things that copyright in music really allows you to do. Number 1, it allows you to reproduce your work.
Yep.
So
Duplicate
whether
it.
it's like recording it, publishing it, I don't know, whatever it is, it allows you to reproduce your work infinitely if you own the copyright. The second thing that copyright allows you to do is to distribute copies of your work.
Distribute it. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah,
Distribute meaning like selling it. Just is it? Well, yeah, selling. I guess does monetization come in? But then that's a separate thing. But then it's like
so
yeah,
monetization will come in like through all of these like all of these things that I'm about to outline, because through reproduction of your work, through distribution of your work, like you're gonna be able to monetize all these different like facets. So
Yeah.
the third thing which you can also monetize is the third thing that copyright allows you to do, which can be monetized, is performing your work publicly. And the interesting thing about the music industry, guys, is whenever people say perform your work, it doesn't necessarily mean hop on a stage and grab a
Actually perform
microphone
it.
and perform. So
Yeah.
performance or public performance usually refers to, is your music playing on a radio? Is your music playing in a matatu? Is your music playing in a club? That's
a
public
performance. performance.
Yeah, that's public performance. And you have to be paid for that stuff.
Yeah, there's physical performance, there's digital performance.
Exactly. And we are gonna have to go into like detail as to now why our industry is so messed up. Because people should be paid for like their music being played in a bar or in a mat.
In a matatu.
But
yeah.
usually they're not. And there's reasons why. And then the fourth thing you're able to do with copyright is make a derivative work. And so that would be like, you know how like back in the day, Kina Kajairo used to like make like parody songs of like
yeah,
like that stuff. You can't do that stuff for free. Now, I don't know if Kina Kajairo were like going through all the legal like hoops.
Hey, I highly doubt it. I'm just
I highly doubt it.
I highly
but
doubt
that there's a copyright attached to that, and you have to pay to do such things. But yeah, I'm just saying that is something you have to do. And the last thing, display the work publicly, which would be Even if your work is like put on a website, or if your work is out on streaming, it's being
Yeah.
displayed
Yeah.
there, like there's copyright attached to that. But the interesting thing, Sam, about this whole thing is the industry put in fail safes, right? Because having like we described, a limited duration monopoly of something, not everybody's gonna like that, because it's very restrictive, and the people who have these monopolies will essentially have the power to determine how much you have to pay for their stuff, and that becomes tricky, because then now it's like it's going to be the Wild West. Everybody's just going to be asking for whatever, right? So the industry made like certain fail safes, and they decided on a system where there are certain licenses which are compulsory. Like it's not really like up to you. So, for example, you know how we make music and then we sign up with a distribution company like DistroKid or TuneCore, and we upload it there. Already, there's a compulsory license like attached to that. So the streaming platforms pay based off of a compulsory license attached to that, that's called a mechanical license. And that's where we start talking about mechanicals and all that stuff. And then it gets very complex when you start talking about mechanicals and all that. Like it's honestly, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, it's a real headache.
Yeah.
It is a real headache.
It's not very straightforward like you would hope it would be. It's a dance.
And the reason why it's so complicated is because every country has their own way of determining what mechanical royalties are and how they're calculated. And the problem with our country is we just copy and it's like, okay, this is what these guys are doing, then this is what you know what I mean? Like, so it's like it's confusing. It's like, so what are we really going by?
Exactly. And is it are the laws, what do you call it? Are they unique to what we have going on? And because laws are not just, they don't just exist on their own. Laws exist within, not too much, but then within the extent of culture and how people consume things. And it has, I feel like it has a play, I may be wrong, but I feel like it has a play on the actual laws. And so then it's just very different in different markets and, economics stages and whatnot. So stages, no, that's the wrong word. But anyway, yeah.
So yeah, man. So mechanical royalties is how you get paid, and I think certain countries calculate it as a factor of, the streaming royalties that are generated. I think streaming royalties are like actually broken down into like performance and mechanical royalties, and that it gets a bit complicated there. I guess the one that's a little bit more straightforward is performance. And that's where you start talking about PROs, which are these performance royalty organizations, or rights organizations, sorry. And the big ones here, or usually actually in countries will have one or two, but mostly just one PRO. And usually they'll be tied to the government. I think the only countries that are like exceptions would be like America and just a few other ones. Because America has some that are like privately owned, which by the way, I think is a better model. I think it only really works because it decentralizes the power, and people have options, and you can... And I feel like when power is decentralized, then people can hold more accountable than if only one person has the monopoly of everything.
It sounds like it sounds a little bit like you don't trust the government. It sounds like
I don't. I don't. What do you mean? It sounds like I'm telling you, I don't.
Oh, okay. Just clarifying. I don't know.
I prefer that model a little bit more. And I think it's good that America has like ASCAP and BMI. They also have another one called CSAC and GMR. But
Yeah. Which could be the problem
I-
that we're facing here, is because ours is tied to for the most part, it's tied to the government.
but it's not the
And
case everywhere else, because other
they're
countries
doing
like in
whatever.
Europe, for example, like in Europe, like in the UK, in France, like they have one, or they have like, I think they have like what they'll have like one PRO, and that's gonna be like government established, but it works because their government at least is more like regulated than ours. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily listen, the problem is our government. that's the problem.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
no.
problem. So anyway,
Yeah,
the reason why I
that's
want to
true.
talk about PROs is because there's a license attached to everything. And essentially how PROs work is, yes, you have the copyright to your work, right?
Yeah.
But then, Sam, me and you have like limitations, bro. We're only humans. It's gonna be so impossible, Sam. Imagine if you release music today and you had to follow up with every
single
person.
station and every
Yeah.
matatu that played it, and that's impossible. That is
It's
actually
impossible.
not possible. It does,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's
Everyone
why
who played it on their phones, it's ridiculous.
And so back in the day, people encountered this problem, and someone somewhere said, "Yeah, I'm gonna make this my I'm gonna make this my business model. I'm gonna make this I'm gonna provide a solution for this." And so this is how PROs were born, and they take on that burden, on that responsibility of tracking down who is using what. And so what will happen is publishers and writers will be, writers will be yourselves, you listening to this, or if you are a bit advanced in your career and you're listening to this, you might have been partner with a publisher who will handle the publishing of your music. And what happens is these publishers, or yourself as a writer, you're gonna affiliate yourself to one of these PROs. And those guys are gonna collect your royalties on your behalf. So it's the job of the PRO to go to these matatus, to go to these clubs, to go to these establishments that are using your music, and offer them what they call a blanket license to use the music of the publishers and the writers who are affiliated with them. Does that make sense?
With them, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And so that's how a correct society should work. That's how it's supposed to function, technically. And that's why IP is important, because if you own your music and you can register with a publisher who then registers with a PRO, or if you register directly with a PRO, this is how your money gets collected. Because it's important. I'm not gonna go and follow up with Habanos because they were playing my music.
It's hectic for the artists. It's hectic. Yeah, it's hectic for the artists, the creators of, the owner of the intellectual property, and it's also hectic for the people who are using it. Because now imagine having 500 different artists coming to your bar every weekend talking about, I know you're going to play my song, or you've played my song this past week. Like, that's just terrible. That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's not practical.
So yeah, that's just like guys, this is all very
that's like the surface
level. Yeah, and we could go on and we could go on and on about IP, but I think the main thing is you guys just need to look into copyright, and you need to look into trademarks for your ideas, and go from there. But yeah.
Hopefully we'd have someone on here who is like who is very knowledgeable,
like a professional at this stuff. Man. Sam,
but that was that's IP for your head top. Do with that information what you want. Speaking of IP, no, not speaking of IP. There's no way I could possibly segue.
Bro, I was.
I'm
bro,
sure
let me tell
Afam
you,
will. I'm sure
Sam,
Afam will
no,
find
no,
a way.
no, no,
I'm
no,
sure
no.
you'll find a way to segue between IP and
And
the
Burna Boy.
concept.
Bro, I was racking my brains. Sam, you don't
It's
understand. I
okay.
was trying
Just let
so
it go.
hard.
Just let it go. Listen, we can actually. Burna Boy was in the country. We could
Yeah,
just
Burna Boy
that's
was in
segue enough.
town. And you know what he said,
Yeah.
Sam? He said, "Your sound systems are trash. You guys are trash. Listen, I got this. You guys don't even worry. Don't even listen. I'm gonna
He
come."
came with his whole. He came with his whole. Oh my goodness! Doesn't trust nothing no one does over here, and I don't blame him.
No,
I
no,
honestly
listen.
don't blame him.
But Sam, I have a little bit of ego. Like, yeah, I saw that and I was like, bruh, listen, that's kind of like, bruh, are you trying to shit on my
Yes,
country like this?
that's exactly what he's trying to do. But I don't think he means it. I don't think he means it terribly. He's just like see Burna Boy. He's like on the high artist to watch list. Like he's high up there because he's not had the best of reputations of performing in Kenya. So I think this time that he took away, he seems like he wanted to get it right. And part of getting it right is having a successful show, a show that you can actually listen to and be at. And we seem to be struggling with that recently. So he's like, you know what we're doing, guys? We're bringing in our own mixers. We're going to bring in our own engineers. We're going to have our own speakers. We're having everything. And that's us, which must have been a headache to set up. But
Wait, but bro, Sam, you mentioned something interesting about his past like relationship with Kenyans. And I didn't know it was that bad. And I guess I just forgot because it happened years ago. But I
Yeah,
was reading
it's been a
this
few years in between.
article. I was reading this article by, and I think it's a really well written article and recollection of the night by Ian Omondi on Citizen Digital. And he was reminding us of like the whole situation with Burna Boy and Kenyans back in the day. I completely forgot that he was calling Kenyans like dumb, and he was like, you all need to like have like IQ tests before you come into shows. And
which is
I was like,
which is
bro,
absolutely dumb from him, but he was on the rise and his ego was at the top, so he felt the right to say that.
Bro, I didn't know it was
That's
that
dumb. That's
bad.
ridiculous. Yeah.
But he also was he also like that whole performance where he barely performed and was drunk and whatever. That was also like out of pocket. So
Yeah.
I understand why people were pissed off at him at the time. Like it
But he
makes
redeemed
sense
himself.
to me.
He did.
He
redeemed
did.
himself.
It looks like he did, man. This show looks like it was a success. Sorry, I haven't seen any like bad words about it.
Yeah. The things that we usually the things that we usually struggle with, or not struggle with, the things that we usually call out, one would be sound. And from what we know, like people seem to be enjoying themselves. They were vibing along. The other thing is
Said it was
security.
immaculate. They said the
Yeah.
sound was immaculate, man. So I guess him bringing his own sound system.
Do you think Chris Brown would
Shit.
see this and change his mind? Do you think? You think Burna
no.
Boy will take the news back to him? Like, hey, Kenya is actually all right. It's not that bad. He should.
Maybe.
We need
Maybe.
positive PR. We need positive PR for our shows because we're not doing
We
very
do.
well.
We do. But yeah, you were saying this, and
Oh
you
no, so
also,
yeah,
you were-
it's the sound and then it's
Uh-huh.
security. Security
Security.
tends to be one. And from what I again, this is where what do you call it? Looking from the sidelines, peeping through a window.
Yes.
But then people they took care of the ticketing system and the security. Like it was a little bit more thought of and well thought out, rather. So we've not heard anything crazy about it.
So I'm reading from this like I said, there's this Whitney Wanderi. She posted like a recap of her experience. It looks like there was like 4 or 5 checkpoints like to ratify if your ticket
Yeah.
is like legit and stuff. And
Or if you have one.
or if you have one. And they were saying that like the walk between like the entrance and then like where you actually enter, or well, the first security checkpoint and when you actually enter like the Madfun experience at Uhuru Gardens was like 20 minutes. But hey,
Yeesh.
listen, I'm not
That's long.
complaining.
No, that's
I'm
long
not
though.
complaining.
That's crazy. That's a
No,
long
it
way
is.
to
But
walk.
Sam, with this recent like Occupy shows trend, and bro, these guys, you know how much they spent. $1 million only to secure Burna Boy, and then also this other additional costs to bring in his
15
61
million sound equipments. If
and
that
the
makes proper
61
sense.
people with their
Yeah.
equipment as well. I'm not. This concert is happening, and I am going to make sure
And it's going
the
to
security-
happen to the people who paid for it.
Exactly.
None of these goons are walking in. No
But
jumping over
speaking of-
fences.
Speaking of, because of the high prices of tickets, I did read that there weren't so many people. Like I saw like some texts that they were like, yeah, the crowd. We've seen bigger crowds
Yeah.
than this, but do you think it's because of the price? Do you think
I think
a lot of people?
I mean, I
were
definitely feel like
priced
they priced it out of the regular range, I think, for the most part. People are
Yeah.
obviously going to be able to get there, but then I think if we're just looking at regular economics, I feel like it was priced out of the regular range of the fan. This feels
Yeah.
like it would be a little bit higher than just the regular fan of Burna Boy music. Maybe like not a super fan. Maybe whatever is in between a regular fan and a super fan. This would be like, but I don't know. I wasn't there, so
No,
can't tell,
I
but-
agree with you. I think that the price point was really high, but when
Do you think they made their money
about-
back from that?
from the tickets that they sold?
Yeah. Is that enough? Hmm.
Possibly. Selling tickets can generate quite a lot of revenue.
So talking about
I'm not gonna lie.
just on the basis we're talking about $1 million.
if
that's
I
100
knew
million.
if I knew how many tickets
People
they
attended.
sold or
Yeah.
people who attended, would be able to like speculate. Also taking into account that there was the VVIP and VIP sections, and those tickets were going for like 65K
Okay, yeah.
and stuff. So
Yeah.
100 million though is a lot.
120,
so-
130. That's
Actually,
a lot.
130 million. Sorry. Yeah. My
Yeah.
goodness. Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, that's
what
not
else did I read
that's
about?
not for us to worry about. That's
It's
not
not.
our problem.
I think in terms of performance, he was really it looks like he delivered. I saw the whole thing about him doing the freestyle that he made for Sophie, and that whole debacle that's been going on the internet.
Shout out Burna Boy.
Shout out to, well, I don't know if we want to shout him out because all the girls
not on
hate
that.
him.
Not on
All
that
the
note, I
girls
meant
hate
a
him for
general
that.
shout out. A general shout out, not on that specific issue. With
Do you know
him
how
and-
many
and the
think pieces
Lamborghini
I've
saga.
seen?
Lamborghini
Bro, do you know how
saga.
many think pieces I've seen of women saying that he's petty and like what a petty guy, childish he is for doing that.
We could share thoughts and take this thing to the next level, but keep it muted. Keep our opinions to ourselves. Oh man!
But I
No,
think
but-
him doing the freestyle on the show, I think that was like, that's just like some star shit. You know what I mean? Like you know, at some point you just do things and it's like it's bound to just go viral.
Yeah.
What else? Oh well, the big
He was good. He
thing-
brought out.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to hear? He brought out. Most of Saudi Soul. He brought out the boys. BN was out there. Don't know why. Probably shouldn't get into it because I don't know unless you want to. But I don't know why Chimano wasn't on stage.
I have no idea. I have no idea why.
That was interesting. But Polycarp was out there. Savara was out there, and BN was out there. They performed "Time Flies."
Because Chimano is credited on the Time Flies song, so
Yes.
it would have been nice to see him on stage, but he probably has his reasons, or there's probably a reason why he wasn't on stage. But it was nice to see the boys like with Burna Boy on stage. That looked like a really wholesome moment.
They look like they liked each other up there. They look like
They did. They did. Whose
like they're
ego is
all-
bigger, BN or Burna Boy?
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? When BN went to Nigeria, he was happy and he was enjoying jollof rice and he was just dapping it up with everybody. Burna Boy came here and he was calling people illiterate and
Names.
fools. So I do feel like
That
Burna
being
Boy
said-
might have a bigger ego.
Burna Boy didn't waste time. Like Burna Boy was in and out. It feels like this was so business, like for him. Like he just came and did what he had to
This is
do.
someone who treats his performances as part of his business. He's not just, it's not like an extra part of his art and he's just having a blast. Like, nah, this is
Yeah.
money. We're out here to make money, and he made his money. And it looked like the performance was good. So like I think that's a plus. That's like a good checkpoint for us in terms of the live industry, for us to look back on and be like, okay, can we do that? Shout out to the organizers, Madfun, Joy, and Joy Washira, who we talked about last week.
Speaking of checkpoints, though, we have to give a shout out to Ben Soul and Charisma for opening the show. Because that's big for them. That's big for them.
Especially Charisma. Yeah, especially Charisma. Like, I was happy for
Charisma.
him. Like, on that stage, like performing with Burna Boy I saw him talking about it. Like, that's incredible. To have, it's just the hustle, man. It's the hustle and just working and working and working.
Bro, let me
and
tell you,
seeing it,
I've
so.
seen Charisma from the beginning. I'm talking like from the beginning, man. Like, and it's so nice to see people actually, materialize their dreams and do what they set out to do from the beginning. Like, and it's just crazy to see that. You know what I mean? To see stars being born. And I hear like on stage he said like this was the biggest stage he'd been on and everything. And I mean,
what a
performing
stage to be on, right?
in front of Burna Boy, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and Burna Boy right now, I think you would say is at the heights of his career. Like, so
Definitely.
especially because he's dating
Congratulations,
Chloe
yeah.
Bailey. It doesn't get higher than that.
I don't. They
But-
still no. I think that whole Lamborghini saga has
No,
has
it's-
ruined
nah.
Burna Boy's ruined Burna Boy for Chloe Bailey. I really do think so.
No,
I think
that-
we've seen the height of that relationship in your words.
The
think it's
people
over.
were talking about Burna Boy's catalog in quotes. I'm quoting this because of all the girls that he's dated. Anyway, listen.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out to Burna Boy.
I feel like but I feel like it's a side point obviously, but I feel like as an artist, especially the male artist, and maybe that could be why a lot of do I want to say this? A lot of them just it's a circular relationship where they're all just hovering around the same partners,
women.
quote unquote. Yeah. Because your reputation is just so high, some of them don't want to venture out
And they have
try
a lot
something
to
new.
lose. Yeah, they
Which
have
is
a
so
lot
strange,
to lose,
man.
for sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. One thing I also
What's
want to shout
important?
out is to the fan who got Burna Boy's jacket, man. Shout out to
Oh
you,
yeah,
bro.
bro is up. Bro is up. Well,
Sam. Well,
up,
I was
up.
asking Sam this before the podcast, and I guess I'm asking you guys as well. Would you sell that jacket?
it's interesting because I would want to keep it, but I do not value clothes that other people have worn like that so highly. That's my problem. Like, all right, cool. Burna Boy wore this jacket. Okay. Like, that doesn't increase the value for me. Like, how much is the jacket worth? That's the value.
Doesn't
of the
increase
jacket.
the value for you, but then it'll increase the value for other people. And like, bro, for me
Yeah, like
personally,
I'm not looking at it like, oh my goodness. You know how like people, oh, Burna Boy wore this jacket. This is so crazy. I'm going to frame it. Like, no, it's another man's jacket. What am I
oh man,
doing
I'm
with it?
framing that. What do you mean? I'm framing it?
That's so
To
strange.
answer,
Why?
to answer my own question, one, I am not selling that jacket. Apparently, how much did they say it's worth?
100
Did
and
they
I saw 180, I think 180,000 shilling. 180,000 shillings.
Even if you offer me 500,000 Kenya shillings, even if you offer me 1 million
You're not
Kenya
selling
shillings,
it.
and I know this is crazy to say, I'm not selling it.
What if
I'm
you
really not.
really need the money? What if auctioneers are at your door and they're trying to get theirs back, and you really need the money? Are you selling it to them? Would you
No.
pass off Burna Boy's jacket to the auctioneers to get rid of your debt?
No, because I think keeping it will
Bro would rather he'd rather go to jail than let go of Burna Boy's jacket. Is that what
no,
you're saying?
because I think you can get so much more value for it if you keep it and then auction it like maybe 8 years from now.
Another
I'm so
important. Will
serious.
you wash it? Will you wash
No.
it? Or is it Burna? Oh my! You're not framing a Musty jacket, Afam. We're not
you
doing
have
this.
to, but that's what you have to do.
We're not framing up. So you just have a random Musty jacket hanging
Framing-
in your living room. That's ridiculous.
Framing a musty jacket. That's the title of this podcast.
We're not doing that. No, at least throw it in the wash or dry clean it. Do
No.
something. Wet wipes.
No.
Wipe it down. It's sweaty.
Burna Boy's sweat. This is crazy. But Burna Boy's sweat is what
are you about
adds
to say?
value to the
Oh
jacket.
my god! I can't believe what I'm hearing.
It's true.
Genuinely can't believe what I'm
It's
hearing.
true, though. That's what adds value.
This is
It's-
ridiculous.
Bro,
Wash it.
like listen,
No.
that's why
Dip it in water. Do
you know in
something.
football whenever people have like the framed like jerseys and something, they always have to put
they're not washed.
Yeah, they say match worn. Like this is a match worn Messi 2008
Yeah, I'm cool,
like
man.
Barcelona jersey.
Wait,
But that's what gives it value.
It's messy. Okay, it's messy. First off, you know what? I'm talking as someone who's played sport, and I knew how my shirt. I mean, after a game of football, how crazy it must have
Exactly.
been. And
Yeah.
you want to tell me you're going to take that from another guy and like, oh, this is
Yup.
amazing. Let me hang this up without no
If it's
sort of hygiene done to it. Nah, we're good.
If it's a Messi
I'm
shirt
good, thank
from
you.
2010 and it's never been washed, perfect. And I had all the money in the world, I'm buying it.
That thing is going to degrade off the bacteria on it. It's not going to last.
That's what's gonna make it give it that authenticity.
Look,
you know?
oh, this is. I'm sorry for you. That's all I have to say. Is I'm sorry for you. Now, me, I'm washing it. I'm going to clean it. Okay, if I'm not selling it immediately, right? I choose not
That's
to sell
gonna
it.
depreciate
to be
its
clean.
value. That's the equivalent of
Hey,
removing like
maybe
an
I just
action
don't
figure
value
from
Burna
a
Boy's
box.
sweat as much as you guys do. Maybe that's just I don't value someone else's sweat like that. That's ridiculous.
I
I'm cool.
can't believe we're two grown men talking about Burna Boy's sweat.
You're
on
a grown man
podcast.
talking about you will keep another man's sweat up on your wall. That's what you shouldn't be able to believe.
No,
That's
it's
crazy.
you who brought this up. I was talking about the jacket. But now that you mention it, yes, the sweat is an integral part of the experience.
That's a
the
wild
Madfun
statement.
experience. See? Everything.
Oh, man.
Everything.
Anyway, we don't know what that fan is going to do with it. He said I think he said he's not going to sell it, so he's going to keep that for a while. Until
Yeah.
I wish it stays with you, because now that you blasted it all over social media,
He must definitely not wear it, because him
He's
wearing it
paranoid
would
now.
also depreciate the value. He should just frame it in a thing and keep it for 5 years and then sell it. But yeah, man, Sam, aside from Burna Boy's sweat, people released
no,
music.
that's not that. That's no, no, not at all. But yes, people release music, and we could recap
What did you listen to?
some of it. Honestly, I don't have a really long list. I listened to Dear Darling by Casey. Casey is, we always say he's Kenyan music what do you call it? Yeah, he's KE music adjacent. He's repping us out there, I think. And yeah, he released Dear Darling, which is cool. We keep saying he's gearing up for something, so looking forward to that. I liked Floya Licky by Licky. Oh, I mean, yeah. Floya Licky by Floya, I'm laughing because anyway, I don't want to break the fourth wall. Floya Licky by Licky. It's cool. I like the bridge. I was telling Afam that it seems like it's a bridge between like the new school rappers and almost like the more, I don't know how to term them, but then like it's almost like the drill scene type of rap. And it's over one of the, well, I would say, more modern style beat. So I enjoyed that. That was a good listen for me.
No, shout out to Licky.
Yeah.
Some pointed out something really profound, and I'm stealing his shine. But he was like, he.
You got to Kenya not even 3 days in, and you already stealing.
I'm stealing. Because I thought your
Oh,
point
no.
was actually really good. Actually, you should be thankful that I'm giving you some credit for your
all right.
intellectual property.
Get on with it, bro. Like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to. This is an intellectual property like lesson. Anyway, so essentially, Sam was like, Licky Licky kind of he straddles the line between the drill scene and like the niche like trap scene, because if you
Yeah.
listen to that beat sounds like some of the stuff like the prominent like or the very underground trappers like would hop on, but
Yeah.
Licky's flow isn't like what those underground rappers would do. His flow is more like a little bit like mainstream, but it just works because it's like a merging of both worlds, and that's
Yeah.
what makes it very, very interesting. So I
It
just want to
does. So
shout
that
him
was
out because Sam put me onto it. I was like, wait, this kid is actually really fire. So shout out to Licky.
Yeah, dope. I will mention as well K-Rop and Raid on Drip dropped Itavu Nishi. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but yeah, so that's cool. K-Rop is also releasing a whole bunch of music, so shout out to him. I listened to Magnum Opus Part 1 by Kamushes, which is I think it's more Unst related. I went through a couple of the tracks. I want to sit down and actually listen to it more. But then, yeah, it's 12 songs, features Krish Kenya, features Kimina, DJ Grandeur Kenya, and Munyasia. So, yeah, I was interested in listening to that. That is, I didn't do much listening to music this week. I apologize. But those are some of the ones that stood out to me. What stood out to you?
I listened to I want to say Who Dat by Nefario and for Mr. Frank White. Hopped on one of those like early 2000s beats, so that's been going crazy. There was, I also didn't listen to much. There's Mziki by Sosa the Prodigy, Mudoka, Lil Maina, and YBW Smith.
Yeah.
I got YBW Smith's name right for the first time. Then I listened to Matopare by Harry Craze, Furthermore, and Nasty Nasty.
Which is yet another dance.
It's another dance. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a bar there where he said Matopare and Mapangale. So I'm sure when the video comes out, he'll just
it's Angukanayo now. Now we have Angukanayo, Mapangale, and Matopare. I don't know whether we have another one, but it's becoming a thing.
I can barely keep up. Then I want to shout out Fancy Fingers and Winyo, bro. Like, these guys are cooking something generational. They're cooking something generational, bro. Pokunena. And I want to say, bro, listen, Sam, they've released 2 singles. This is what I'm saying. I hope this is an EP. I hope it's only like 5 songs. If they release 5 songs, including these 2 that are in the same quality level, with what they've just released, they're on for like one of the best projects of the year. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, these guys are cooking something generational. Like, it's so good. The sonics are so good, and the music is just so real, man. Like,
sounds good. It does sound good.
I'm saying this on the podcast right now, man. I think for me, Fancy Fingers is my favorite, like, from the group. I'm saying it. I'm saying, bro,
okay.
Listen, I know that's crazy. That's a crazy take. That's a crazy take, but like, bro,
half.
No, I'm being so for real, man. Like, I think he it's just because of the sonics, man. Or maybe it's because I appreciate him as a producer / engineer. Maybe that's why. But
might be producer
bro,
bias.
No,
but it's good though. Like, let me not say I'm not actually going against what you're saying. No, it's that these 2 releases have been
phenomenal.
Yeah, very good. So I'm excited to hearing what he has coming.
Same.
Yeah, definitely. What else?
But Sam, the main project that came out that everybody has been talking would be Muhoko by Njoki.
I ran to it. I was interested, very much interested.
Did you put on your best running shoes?
I did. Special ones.
The spiked ones.
I ran from my bed to my table to throw on my headphones. But no, Njoki Karu released a project. Finally, we got some extended play from Njoki Karu, which is amazing. She gave us, how many tracks did Njoki bless us with?
I think it was 11.
Yeah, man,
Pretty
and of
sure
course
it was
she
11.
released a single. Yeah, 11 tracks. You're right. She released a single, the single "Fall" a while back, just to whet our appetites, and so very excited for this. Njoki's just good. Like she's just brilliant, right? And I personally, I think I enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to listen to it more. Not enough time has passed for me to be able to. I feel like I haven't fully connected with the project like I would, and I don't be trying to connect with projects, but I feel like Njoki's voice is just, it's one for connecting with. So yeah, no, I mean, I can't speak of this project highly enough. I do enjoy it, and I'll be listening to it more. Did you?
No, I felt the
Peruse.
same way. I thought her vocals were so magical, man. We were floating. I was floating listening to some of this stuff. I like how the music flows into each other. I thought that was a nice touch. And yeah, man, the interludes as well were very well done. Like she really was able to tell a story with this project, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And for that, I
And
really
present a range of
appreciated
emotions too,
it. Yeah.
and different narratives. So it's good. Like I said, I did. There's more I think to get from the project. I think the first listen for me is always just sonics and
Yes.
like feel, which is what I got. So now I want to go back and actually listen to it and
The words.
see what's up. Yeah,
I know this is a side conversation, but like I feel like most producers are like that. Because even me, the first time I listened to a project, I'm not really listening to the words like very seriously. But
Yeah.
usually when other people listen to music, it's like I feel like they already know all the
Crying
like,
off the
content
first
of
listen.
the lyrics.
Yeah,
No, but I'm saying they know all the content of the lyrics and stuff. And like for me, I'm not like that. Like I have to listen to a song or like a collection of, well, I say a collection of songs, a project, like
Yeah.
multiple times before like the message and stuff sinks in. Because me first listen, it's just like, how does this sound? Do I like it? Like you could be saying complete like trash on a song, but if it sounds
But
great,
it was mixed well. It's
yeah,
vibey.
and if it sounds great, you can ask me afterwards. Was that song good? I'll be like, yo, I like for my first listen. That is, I'll be like, I actually really enjoyed it. Anyway, that's a side conversation.
That was good, man. Enjoyed songs like Dance. Dance was good. Of course, Fall came out a while ago, so I enjoyed that as well. Heaven was really good. I loved Hope, and was it one of Reprise? No, not Reprise. It was no, Reprise was it was after. It might have been the one before. So probably like God only knows. But when I listen to it, I'm going to like everything else. This was just off the first listen, the ones that's kind of stuck with me. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the voice notes and the little interludes and whatever that she put on there, and the people singing in the beginning, the first track. Okay, I wish my thing is I wish that it was incorporated more. I feel like it would have grounded the project a little bit more and given it more of a I don't know, like a raw feel. But it still sounds great. So yeah, that was Njoki's latest project. Shout out to Njoki. Great job on it. We are listening. So do we play something off here?
Let's do it.
Cool,
Let's do it, man.
cool. Let's play something off here. I think out of all of the ones, I mean, there are good songs on there, but I think today we will play the fifth song off the project. So you are about to listen to Heaven by Njoki Karu.
Heaven would find me as I cower within a strained life, living and losing and loving, being lonely as time. As I look all around me, all these memories I have designed, I can't find what I'm yearning. Can't find one to call mine. battle to keep on breathing? How do I hold my head up high when you won't look me in the eye? Through a rope or a battle, oh, let me knock on his door and ask why. Let me beg God to take me in, if just for a moment I can be still. I can be still. I can be still. I can be still. I know heaven will find me in a place where your heart will be mine, will be a little less toxic, and we won't choose to be absent. Here's my oath to surrender. Oh, here is the final sign. I'll be fine. I know the sun will find me. I know the sun was made to be mine. I cower within a strained life, but I am too young to be broken or be as lonely as time.
That was Heaven by Njoki Karu. And I hope that I mean, if you really enjoy that, I mean, the rest of the project sounds just as good, if not better. So go listen to that. Go support KE music. Support some good writing and just very lovely production. Just go support it, right? But
Go support the girl, man. Sam, episode 120. I want to talk to you guys. I usually like to talk to you guys at the end of the podcast. If you are new here, I have this thing called the 3 C's, which are kind of like guidelines that I like to give because they're things that I also want to follow myself because I'm not perfect. And they are confidence. If you are in the music industry, you need to be confident. Well, in any industry, but I'm mostly talking to people in the music industry. You need to be confident in your art, man. Guys, that's what people will buy into. If you're confident with your art, that's the first step, and a positive one at that. You need to be consistent, both in your creation of the product as well as its output. Consistency really pays off really well. For me, for example, I'm a form type of producer. What I mean by that is when I start making beats for a specific genre, at first they're all gonna not be really great. But if I make 3 beats every day of R&B, the beats I make on Monday won't be the best. The ones on Tuesday I make will be slightly better, but not really good. But then by Wednesday, Thursday, bro,
cooking.
I'll end up really, really cooking some generational stuff. So that's kind of how that goes for me. And lastly, craft. Always work on your craft. So if you can dedicate 5 minutes a day to work on bettering your art, do it, because it's gonna be so important. And those 5 minutes add up at the end of the year. So yeah, man.
Cool. Thank you for those encouraging words. I don't have any to give.
Okay, well, with that awkward note,
ending.
on that awkward note, and that's not because of me. Listen, guys, you guys cannot blame me.
Well,
you
it's
guys
actually your fault because you keep
Sam,
coming with the 3 C's, and it puts me under pressure, and I'm not putting myself under pressure to have to be knowledgeable at the end of the podcast. No, we're knowledgeable in the middle of it, and so
I'm not trying to be knowledgeable. It's just 3 C's.
You are. You're
that,
trying.
like,
You're trying to
help.
upstage me. That's what you're trying to do.
See the narratives that come out in this podcast,
Trying to
guys. Like
upstage me.
the accusations, the gaslighting. It's like honestly, guys, I don't even know what to say at
gaslighting.
this point.
I don't know what. I don't
which,
think
by
people know
the-
what gaslighting is anymore. I feel like we just throw
Guys,
that word around loosely.
somebody mentioned that I do this a lot, where I try and weaponize the audience, and they're like, "You're always seeking sympathy from the audience."
Maybe that's
They were
something
like,
you need to fix. Hey, okay, yeah, that's my
That's-
ending. That's the ending of my of that's now my. You did 3 C's. Here's my 1 D.
Uh-huh.
Don't look for sympathy. Like you don't need to be accepted by everyone else, as long as you accept yourself. Affirm.
You see what's happening, guys? Sam is now here acting like the good
You're
cop.
doing exactly.
it's
You're
fine.
weaponizing the audience again. You're trying to get sympathy. I just told you not to, and you're doing. Yo,
Yes,
listen.
the reason I did that, I did that for comedic effect, Sam. Come on.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Listen, we're producing.
I'm not hip to
We're
your-
producing.
All right, man.
Anyway.
Listen.
We will see
Episode
you
121
on
and-
episode 11 times 11. We're out.
All right. Bye. Oh, jeez.